Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and even bigger steaks. This is beef country, Texas, home to the Alamo, the Cowboys, and the largest military installation known to man. So big, it has a big name. Fort Hood, the great place. It's got a Texas-sized podcast as well. And this is it, right here, Fort Hood's great big podcast. Yeehaw.
I can hear you.
Oh, so good. It's good to be heard.
Yeah. So, how's home life?
It sucks.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, before we get into all of this stuff, I have to make sure that you understand your HIPAA rights. If we do discuss what's
going on. I thought you were going to ask me if I was wearing pants or not, like it was a Zoom kind of thing.
Well, I'm expecting you're not.
Yeah.
Actually, I am.
Really?
I am. I'm wearing a pair of sweatpants.
It's going above and beyond.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the house. I'm big with shorts. That's it. All right. So, Charles.
Yes.
I am recording. We're not going to use any of this, but or I may cut out some of it. Here's the admin notes. I wanted to ask you, how you feeling?
On and off.
Yeah. What did you see the doc?
No, I got a call back from the doc and they said I really need to go in today and get the COVID test. So okay. I'm doing that right after this.
Okay.
I thought you got that already.
No, I was supposed to be waiting for a time. They were supposed to send me a time.
Right.
Oh.
So when the doc called and I inquired, they said, no, you can just go whenever. Your name is just put on the list. It's like, well, then you need to take.
And you show up where? Where do you take it? Where do you take it? Where do you have to go?
Scott and White parking lot.
Okay.
On the 31st.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Okay. Tomorrow, I know you're going to be busy after we get done here, but tomorrow, first thing, when I walk in the door, because we're recording, this is now the second clip, and we're going to end up with 3 clips. I need you to walk me through tomorrow morning, okay? Can do?
Okay. With what are you recording tomorrow?
Oh, I'm not recording anything tomorrow. I need to produce it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And whatever. I wrote some things down, but obviously I didn't write everything down. So I will put you on speaker, and I'll just cut it while you're talking to me, okay?
Okay.
So you're going to close your eyes and go, okay, I'm now looking at Premiere. Or just open Premiere at your house and go, yeah, see that button over there? Yeah.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Sorry, man. This too shall pass. I hope.
Yeah, well, if it doesn't, there's 2 outcomes. I get better, I die.
Yeah, you're not going to die.
But that's every sickness. There's 2 outcomes.
That's true. All right.
Whatever you get.
All right, everybody, break. And we'll pick it up from the top. And welcome to Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. I'm Dave Larson, and I am not Charlie Mabe.
And I'm Specialist Brianna Dew, who was also not Charlie Mabe.
And Charlie Mabe, believe it or not, is on the telephone. Hello, Charlie.
Hello, I'm Charlie Mabe, and I'm sick.
Oh, man.
In all the ways that could possibly mean. All those ways. I am that.
So tell me what it's like. Just you've been sick for a couple of days now, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I started feeling sick before I got sick.
Yeah.
So like I felt like I was sick, but I didn't have a temperature or anything. So I thought I have bad allergy problems, and it's getting to be allergy season in
Right.
That it
Texas.
is.
So I thought, well, this might just be the start of allergy season. I might need to seriously up my allergy meds. But then the next day, boom, I was 101 plus fever, and it's not fun. It feels like I have a metal bar through my hip.
Ow.
That makes sense. And laying down is like laying on a bed of rocks. My
Ow.
muscles are so tight. It feels like I'm just laying on rocks.
So you sleeping sitting up now, or
I'm
trying
not sleeping.
to?
I wake up several times an hour.
Oh boy. Yeah.
It is not fun.
That's brutal.
I'm so sorry.
That
It's
is
okay.
brutal. But as of right now, it's not COVID, right?
It's not COVID.
Yay.
Yeah.
After we're done with this, I'm going to be getting the old COVID test. They're going to
Oh.
jam that giant Q-tip up my nose. And
Have you had it yet? Will this be your
I
first
haven't.
one?
that's why I said after this.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's not pleasant. I have done the nose thing, and whew.
You know, you're supposed to tell me it's not a big thing. It's so easy. You're not supposed to say it's gonna be awful.
I mean,
You're gonna die.
It wasn't pleasant, but it wasn't the worst sensation
You've
in the
had
world.
it done twice, right?
I've only had it done once.
Oh, just the once.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was enough for
Well,
me.
I'm doing a drive-through test, so if it gets too unpleasant, I can just hit the gas.
Do your eyes water when they stick the Q-tips up?
Mine did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just, it looks gross.
I held my breath and I was trying not to be too tense because, that can make it worse.
Yeah.
So I was I was probably 50% relaxed, 50% tense.
Right.
Yeah. But it lasted a couple seconds and then it was over. But
How tense are you, Charles?
I got to do it. So,
Yep.
But what I like is coronavirus. They're so dangerous. You got to stay at home. You got to isolate. You got to, you need a test? Drive on over. Come on. Come on over.
yeah.
Sure.
Maybe you'll see our friends from the last podcast.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of the last podcast, it's doing very well, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Command Sergeant Major actually passed the Secretary of the Army's podcast.
Ooh.
Well, fantastic. Hey,
He
he's
did
got
this morning.
Look
big
at
future.
us.
No, look at him.
Yeah.
Huh? But I think because of last week's podcast and we were giving the hey, it's coming. This week is Phantom Action Week here at Fort Hood. And it's a leadership reset where their NCOs and officers are going back to the basics and they're supposed to get to know their soldiers.
Okay. That's cool.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, it does.
And,
Yeah.
You want to handle your business. It helps to know who you're dealing with, right?
Of course. It's very important.
So your unit, have they been doing anything at the band?
Well, we did paintball recently.
Well, team building. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That was a lot of morale.
Did you get to shoot your sergeants?
I did not, but other people did.
Well, there you go.
Our sergeant major had a couple extra paintball rounds on him.
That's like the sergeant major was talking about last week when he said intramural sports, just getting on the sports field.
Yes.
Where there's no rank.
I think it was healthy competition. And actually, they're trying to start a little team where they go and do that every now and again, on their own time.
Right.
So I think it's great. It's giving people resources and a place to go, an option. Because I think about 90% of people in my unit didn't even know where Blora was the
Belton
location.
Lake Outdoor Recreation Area.
Yes, the recreation center, and it's kind of a shame because I feel like soldiers just do not go out and explore, and they don't know what's around them, and they've been here for years.
We need to get you in the boss program, right?
I was part of the boss program for many years. Well, this is the first place I've been where I'm not a boss representative.
Yeah, but lets you know what's out there, right? At a bare minimum.
Yes, there's quite a lot.
But
so it's good.
That is going on this week, Charlie, and you're missing it. Sorry about that, buddy.
I'm getting all the phantom and none of the action.
Exactly. But we do have a great show this week. We are going to be talking Hispanic Heritage Month.
Awesome.
And we will do that right after this.
Ooh.
Flurmit the Sock here for the Thrift Savings Spam. Is it meat? Who knows?
Cut.
What?
Flurmit, baby, look at this script. It clearly says Thrift Savings Plan.
Oh, yeah.
It's about saving money, not lunch meat. Let's try this again.
Thanks, Steve. Flurmit the Sock here for the Thrift Savings Plan.
Got it, baby.
Soldiers and DoD civilians, listen up. Are you socking away a little bit of money each month in your TSP? What? You're not? They call me crazy. The Thrift Savings Plan is a great way to make sure that you've got the supplemental income you need when you get old and wrinkly. Plus, the government can match up to 5% of your contribution. That's a free money. Make it rain, Uncle Sam. Make it rain. So look out for your future and sock some money away in the Thrift Savings Plan account. Visit www.tsp.gov for more information. You can retire like an ex-prince moving to LA, or in my case, his wife.
That's a wrap.
Where do you go to get the latest news from Fort Hood, Texas?
The Fort Hood Sentinel.
And where do you go if you want ideas for things to do in Central Texas?
The Fort Hood Sentinel.
What if you don't have a copy of the Fort Hood Sentinel?
Then I go to my local newsstand and pick up a copy, or go online to www.forthoodsentinel.com.
The Fort Hood Sentinel, Fort Hood's premier place for news and Central Texas information, standing watch since 1942.
All right, and you've been listening to selections from West Side Story, and that is because it ties into our topic.
What? Go ahead.
What?
Restart, reboot. What?
No, it's
West Side Story. What?
Have you ever seen West Side Story?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Jets and the Sharks.
yes, and they are
Gangs.
Hispanic.
No,
Yeah, they are.
the Sharks are.
They both are, aren't they?
No, the Jets are the white guys.
Are they white?
Yes.
I've never seen
I
it.
don't remember.
It's a white guy and a Hispanic girl who played by a white woman, Natalie Wood, by the way. It's a Romeo and Juliet story.
No, I knew that
over here.
much.
Yeah, it's the white people and the Puerto Ricans in New York City.
Really?
Yeah,
Is that where the Jets got their name?
probably.
Cool.
We learn
But
something
the
every
Sharks
day.
are-
You
San
really don't
Antonio.
know that movie or play, do you?
No.
Yeah,
But I know the song. Dun, 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 dun.
yeah.
Something about America.
I like it here in America.
I like the cheese in America.
Everything's free in America. Yeah.
Sure.
Which is sarcastic.
Is it?
Yes, that song is totally sarcastic.
It's like that.
Oh my gosh.
It's like that other song.
Charlie misses
sarcastic
every
song.
point.
Yeah,
Born in the USA.
Rita Moreno sings that in the movie.
I thought it was Natalie Wood.
No, Natalie Wood is the lead. She's Maria.
Uh,
Rita Moreno is her girlfriend.
Dave, you seem to know a lot about musical theater.
I do.
He is well versed. If you
I had early stuff. Camelot, I can tell you all about that one
Camelot.
too. I had older sisters. I was the baby of the family.
Mhm.
I had a lot of LPs. The would come out on a record.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you'd listen to it.
No, I was raised on classical musicals.
Yeah.
That there was nothing odd about
Obviously, you didn't pick up on the plot, though.
that. No, well, I never saw that one as a kid. I think I did once. I mean, I saw
saw,
Guys
like,
and Dolls
once.
once, and that was
Yeah.
enough.
yeah, same.
That was enough for me.
Yeah.
Guys and Dolls.
You ever seen Cats?
Oh my gosh! You know,
It's a good one.
oh, the
Did you watch the
ex-wife.
movie?
Oh,
The
Heck
new
no.
one? No,
No. I stayed far away.
The ex-wife, before she was the ex-wife, before she was the wife. And this should have been a red flag. You talk about red flags. This should have been a red flag because she said, we have to watch my favorite movie. And I said, oh, of course. Let us watch this movie. And it was the Broadway production of Cats. And I made it like 20 minutes in, and I wanted to claw my eyes out. So that should have been...
That was very cat-like of you.
It was. Wow.
Still plays on Broadway now, right?
Ticky Ticky
It
Tacky.
does.
And it's nonsensical.
You don't like it?
It is so nonsensical.
I love it.
It made more sense once they did the CGI one where you're like, oh, okay, I get it. It's about drugs.
Is it?
No,
I don't
it's
think
about
so.
cats. It's about cats.
Wow, this has been a wild musical ride.
Hasn't it? And it has nothing to do with the subject that we are going to dive into here. Although there have been, there's, wait, what is that? Wait, what is that one? That one thing with the stuff.
Wicked?
No,
Hamilton.
no.
That one thing with the stuff.
With the Madonna lady.
Huh?
Madonna lady.
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Oh,
Evita?
Evita?
Yeah, because it's Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yeah, okay.
The truth is I never left you. Or something
Really,
like that.
Charlie?
Wow, that's
Next
really
thing
good.
you're going to say it's Taco Tuesday. That must be Hispanic Heritage.
No, that's all year round.
We don't stop celebrating Taco Tuesday.
Well, okay.
Or Wednesday or Thursday.
No,
You know,
but
LeBron tried to trademark Taco Tuesday.
did he?
What?
He did.
Why?
Yeah, they told him. No.
Heck
He was like,
no.
I came up with that. Yeah, sure you did.
Yeah.
He did. That
Go
was last
home,
year.
LeBron. You're drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it is
Again.
Hispanic Heritage Month. It's something that's befuddled some people online because Hispanic Heritage Month starts
Covers 2 months.
Yeah. Do you know
Oh.
why it covers 2 months?
I don't.
I do.
Ooh, I can't wait.
It is because there are a number of Hispanic states that have
Countries.
Yeah, countries.
Yeah.
I've been in poli-sci in college, and in poli-sci, everything's a state.
Okay, all right.
All these countries that celebrate our equivalent of the 4th of July, their independence,
Right.
throughout this month, to include Mexico.
Okay.
The Mexican Day of Independence
Is.
coming up within this window of month that
I
we
think
have.
it already has.
Has it?
Yeah.
September
I'm from-
16th.
Was it?
September 16th.
Well, happy.
Said the
Freedom
proud
Day.
Mexican
Belated
American.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
Said the proud Mexican American.
Yes, we have a Mexican American with us. Are you
Yes.
Mexican American? Well, Hispanic. Hispanic does not mean Mexican.
Which is why I didn't get the Jets and the Sharks and Puerto Ricans in New York.
Were they Puerto Ricans?
Yes.
You learn something new every day. You really do.
An
But
attempt was made.
An attempt was
It
made.
truly was.
What did we learn from the Sergeant Major when he was here? You have to keep
You have to roll
striving
with
for
the
that 300. You
punches.
might not get it. I was at about 62 there.
Yeah.
But, we got to strive for that 300. So anyway,
Yeah, all right.
Hispanic Heritage Month.
For
Yes.
2 months.
No, it's just 1
Oh, I
month.
thought you said Hispanic.
15 days
it-
each month.
A little bit here, a little bit there.
September
Oh.
15th to October 15th.
Oh, that's
It
confusing.
straddles 2 months.
It is. Some guy actually, when we went on social media and we said, hey, happy Hispanic Heritage Month, some guy was like, well, at least you got it there halfway through the month. Thanks for finally mentioning it. And I was like, well, it just kind of starts halfway through the month. Dude. So it's confused quite a few people. It's confused the internet. But we have
Yes, we do.
a Mexican American with us, our very own Major Myra Lopez Nanez with us. I always call you Myra so I can avoid your last name. I've been that unsure about it. I'm not good with pronunciations,
Yeah.
which is sad because I've been a broadcaster.
For,
Forever.
almost your entire adult life.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
That
Some
is true.
things will always evade you.
It will, like intelligence.
He can pronounce your last name, so he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
Joe.
one syllable.
Joe.
Yeah. I like it.
So,
Simple, short, to the point.
but so Hispanic Heritage Month. what does it mean to you? And I've actually been thinking about this. I've been waiting to ask you this. What does it mean to you to have a Hispanic Heritage Month? Because as a white guy, there's no white guy month.
So it's nice to have because although you don't have your own month, American history is made up of white history. So it's nice to have a Hispanic Heritage Month to be able to highlight the contributions that Hispanic Americans have made to the American history, to the military, to the culture, because it's not something that's normally taught in schools.
Which is a shame, because you'd like to think going through school as a kid, you think, this is it. They are teaching me everything. You know what I mean? Because
right.
Well, that's what you think the whole world is.
That's what you're banking on. I can remember. I lost faith in our educational institutions at a young age.
Really?
Because I was in the car and I was learning that you couldn't add or subtract, 3 from 2. Teacher had taught us you can't do that. You can't subtract 3 from 2.
But you can.
And my cousin was like, no, we learned about negative numbers. You can. And I was like, they're lying to me. And they lost my trust from that point on. Even to this day, I just don't trust them. So I would hope that our kids are being taught about the important contributions of Hispanic people, because they have been an important part of America.
I think with ethnic studies becoming a larger topic, I think that is starting to be covered. But I know growing up, I was not taught any of my history through the school system.
Wow. You think that's because language barrier? Where the instruction is in English, so they just kind of naturally go that route, or not?
No, I'm not sure what the cause of it is per se, but it's not necessarily the language barrier, because having people who were born in Texas or in California, back in the 1800s, who have been a part of our history, is not a language barrier.
Right. Right.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
It's interesting. So have you felt excluded?
To a degree.
Wow.
To a degree, it's been kind of exclusionary, because we learn about a lot of great scientific advancements, and we learn about, inventors and famous, in my case, I studied journalism, so we learn about journalists, but we don't talk about Hispanic journalists or contributions or inventors in our American society.
That's crazy. Because you were talking, I was thinking, well, in Mexico, I'm sure they're not talking about these great American. And then I'm like, wait a second, they didn't really contribute to Mexico. These people contributed to us. Why aren't we offering them a seat at the table? But it's good that we have this month to bring those people to attention. It's a shame that we're only doing it this month. Why aren't we doing it the rest of the year? That's one of the things that I've never understood about, and once again, this is me, white guy Charlie, coming at this, but we pick these months to bring Hispanic heritage to the forefront, or Black History Month and all this. Why not just teach it throughout the year, and then we don't have to have a month, because every month is everybody.
That would be nice. I think that's a lot of wishful thinking. I think eventually, my hope is that eventually we get to that point. I don't think we're there yet. I think we're moving in that direction. But until we get there, I think it's still important to have these different months that highlight the different contributions of different ethnicities to our country.
Sure. Well, I have to ask. So you said you felt excluded, kind of. But then you joined the Army. How has your journey as a Hispanic American been as a member of the Armed Forces?
It's been a little conflicting.
Okay.
Partly because for Mexican Americans, there has been a bit of a tension between the military and the community going back to Vietnam. So when I first joined, even within my own family, it was some people were very supportive and other people were not.
Wow.
And then once I came into the Army, it's been kind of hit and miss. Some people, the saying, I only see green, it has been nice. But at the same time, some of the discrimination I faced didn't occur until I joined the Army.
Wow.
And so I think that just comes from having different backgrounds and people who have not been exposed to other backgrounds, and I'm like the first Mexican they've met, and the only perception they've had prior to meeting me has been what's portrayed in Hollywood.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because that's living abroad like I did. I didn't realize the influence that TV and movies had on people's perceptions until I lived in a foreign country and realized everything everybody knows about America is stuff they saw in movies. And that's not what America's like.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see how that would play into your ethnicity. Have you found that when you've had an issue come up, has it been addressed properly? Because that's been a serious topic in the military and here at Fort Hood recently.
Personally, yes. I think part of it is my personality. When I have felt wronged, I address it at that moment. Not always in the proper way, maybe, but but it is addressed. And if I don't see the results I want in that moment, then I do elevate it. And I haven't had any issues with that. Either the person has stopped their behavior, or I've just never seen the person again.
They're gone. Do you think, and this is a bit of a toughie question, do you think you've had success with that because you're an officer?
Yes. I definitely believe that some of the success is attributed to the fact that I'm an officer. And for better or worse, officers are treated differently than enlisted, especially our junior soldiers.
Sure.
So I could see where a young soldier would not feel comfortable bringing up these issues to their chain of command, especially if their chain of command does not look like them. But with that said, I think there are enough leaders, good leaders in the military who do care regardless of what they look like or their background, who will address that issue. And if they don't, they have a boss too.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I'm going to shift gears here because that got heavy real fast, didn't it? Let's talk about some great Hispanic heritage. Do you know off the top of your head, and we haven't talked to her about this, me asking this question.
I really wish I had my phone with me right now.
You want to use mine? This is a great resource. Can you think off the top of your head some of the contributions that have been made?
So the first one I can think of was the Mendez case. And I don't remember her first name right now, but they were actually Puerto Rican. And they helped set the stage for Brown versus the state of education.
Oh, sure.
Back in California, there was segregation within the educational system. And Mendez brought a lawsuit against the state for her children because her children were being discriminated. They couldn't go to the school they wanted to go to. So she brought the lawsuit and won. And that eventually set the stage for the Brown case, which led to the national desegregation.
Right. Oh, well, that's great.
Well, talking about one of the reasons I wanted you on the show is that your journey just to get into the Army and then what you've done with your education, that give the listeners an idea of where you came from and how you got here today.
So I am born and raised in California.
Yep.
I joined the reserves straight out of high school. Technically, I was still in high school. I was a senior in high school when I joined the reserves.
Right.
My mom had to sign my permission It sounds like a field trip type thing. Like, hey, Mom, I need you to sign my permission slip here so I can join the Army.
Sure. I had to do that too.
And that was when the first conversation in my family started.
Yeah.
My mom was hesitant, not because I was joining the Army per se, but just because it's the military and she feared for my safety.
Mm-hmm.
But the larger conversation between my aunt and my uncles and my cousins went back to the Vietnam War and the Chicano movement and the relationship between the Army and Mexican Americans at the time. And so I had some who were like, yeah, she can go in, she can make a difference and, be an example. And then others who were like, no, this is a bad idea.
Sure.
We shouldn't let her go. And at the end of the day, my mom was like, well, it's her decision.
Right.
And I raised her to make her own decisions. And we can't say I'm not going to let her go because you don't have that right. So I joined the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
I used tuition assistance and my GI Bill at the time to pay for my college education.
Right.
And I commissioned, coming out of college, commissioned into active duty. And since then, I've had a multitude of jobs just because that's the Army.
Right.
I was branch detailed into the chemical corps. So I was a chemical platoon leader.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in Korea, and young Lieutenant me didn't know the ways of the Army. So I decided to extend in Korea because I thought that would mean I was going to be a platoon leader for longer.
Right.
No, it just meant that I had longevity. So my battalion commander made me the Brigade S4.
Sure.
Or the battalion S4.
Sure.
So
And what is an S4?
Logistics.
Logistics. That sounds
Yes.
exciting.
Mm-hmm. Bean counter.
If you're a logistician, good for you. I would never want to do that job again. From there, I moved over to Signal because that was my original branch that I was supposed to go into. So I went into a company exo position for a signal company, what we call a strategic signal company. So I wasn't actually touching any of the computer equipment. We were just more monitoring the network.
Right.
Then I actually went to school for Signal.
It's very Army.
It is.
I have a signal.
After we
and
send
then
you
I
to
went
school, we'll let you touch buttons.
I became a battalion S6, and then went on to be a brigade S6.
Right.
But the entire time, and then I commanded an HHC in a medical brigade as a signal officer.
Wow.
So that was interesting, but it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But the entire time, my degree was in, my undergraduate was in journalism,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working on my master's for public relations.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire time I was a chemical officer, a signal officer, a company commander, my goal was to be a public affairs officer.
Right.
So I eventually got the opportunity to submit my, what they call voluntary transfer VTIP, voluntary transfer or something program.
Right.
And I got picked up for public affairs, and I've been in the job for about 4 years now, and I absolutely love it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. You got to be in public affairs during one of Fort Hood's most exciting times, I think, in possibly its history.
I don't know if I'd say
Modern history.
in the last 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, modern history. My memory doesn't go back much further than that. So that's history. That's history. And I think for my money's worth, you've done a great job.
Well, thank you.
You've really done a good job keeping your head above water.
So is this your favorite location then? I can assume, or just your favorite job position?
It's my favorite job position, but
Okay.
my favorite location, I think, goes between Korea and Alaska.
Oh,
Where were you in Korea?
I was waiting for you to say Cancun, you know?
I haven't been stationed there, so
Yeah.
I will
Very
take
cold
the-
places.
I'll take
Very-
the Cancun.
Yeah, I would take that.
Yeah.
I would. If the Army sent me there, I would totally go.
Yeah.
Yeah, set up a PA shop
Yeah,
in
twist my
Cancun.
arm. I guess I'll go. Okay.
But you actually had a broadcasting background from college too, right?
Yes. So in college, I worked at our local news station with Telemundo. So I worked the assignments desk at the time, and I would go out with some of the with some of the cameramen and conduct interviews for what we call VOs or VOSOTs, so voiceovers or voiceover sound, which would then air at either the 6 o'clock or the 11 o'clock news.
Right.
Can you give us an example of one of those you might have done?
It was like 13 years ago. I wouldn't remember now.
Oh, yeah, we had that 4-year memory going
Look
back.
at you.
So.
Absolutely. How are we doing, the Army, when it comes to the buzzword now, I guess, in Big Army is cohesiveness, right? And making cohesive teams. What does the Army need to do, in your view, to make diversity, truly make us into a melting pot?
I think it's acknowledging the diversity. The saying, I only see green or I don't see color, while great, negates a lot of experiences for people of ethnic minorities. So I think acknowledging the diversity and acknowledging the different experiences by those people, and then working together to overcome any difficulties that have come from those experiences, I think is what's really needed.
Mm-hmm. So everybody can learn from everyone else's experience.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense to me. How about
That
you?
sounds very diverse. Like my first idea that, hey, why don't we just all teach all this stuff?
That was very diverse.
Oh, are we bringing it back to West Side Story?
America.
No.
I wish I knew another song from that.
Actually, that was kind of off.
There's some like snapping in it. I know that.
Yeah.
Jets,
No.
trucks, and jets and stuff.
When you're a jet on the day of your first cigarette to your last dying day.
You do know
Ooh,
that.
wow.
You
have like the expert and the not at all.
Sing a few bars?
I don't even feel like I need to watch the movie. I can just
I
ask
know. We'll
Dave.
just get a play-by-play from Dave.
You know, they're making a new version of it. Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg's going to do West Side Story.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's just
I mean,
Romeo
I'm
and
sure he'll
Juliet
be
set in
good.
New York City, right?
Yep. With probably giant dinosaurs now or something. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Stegosaurus.
And it's a musical.
Stegosaurus.
T-Rex, yeah.
Yeah.
You need the Velociraptor.
I don't think Shakespeare wrote any musicals, did he?
No, he didn't.
There you go.
No, he couldn't carry a tune.
Yeah. But Hispanic Heritage Month, it's a good thing?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I think all our observance months are a good thing until we can get to that point where it's covered, like Charlie said, where it's taught all year.
Mm-hmm.
Which, do you feel like the months are kind of a crutch so we don't have to teach it?
I could see that, but I think it came more out of necessity to teach it because it hasn't really been taught. I go back to African American History Month, where it's like that's where they really cover Dr. King and Rosa Parks and the civil rights movement. But even back in school, that was really the only time they taught us about it. So I think if there hadn't been an African American History Month, I don't think I would have gotten those lessons. So I don't necessarily think it's a crutch. I think it's a forcing function.
Interesting. I can see that. I just worry that if we keep it in this box, we have 30 days in which we can teach this stuff, it limits you. You know what I mean?
I do. And I don't think 30 days is enough for any one group, but it's a start. I'd rather have 30 days versus no days.
I remember I have a friend, I'm not going to share his name, but he was very excited because he's black. And he was excited because he said for African American Month, for Black History Month, Netflix has given us our own thing. You're going to be able to look down black movies. Yeah. And I'm like, you got to shoot for higher than just a Netflix thing. That's equality means more than a Netflix channel. We need to be teaching this stuff every day.
And I agree. Equality does mean more than a Netflix channel, but representation is important. And when you don't see people who look like you on television or in the movies, it excludes you from society.
Yeah, that's true.
So having a channel that's, for you, like, hey, this is my life experience is normal and it's normalized. So it's not equality yet, but it's a step in the right direction.
I agree. And if you want more equality or want to learn more about Hispanic Heritage Month, we're going to have a post every day of the weekday on our Three Core and Fort Hood Facebook page that you can go to, so you can learn about some of the great people who have served in the Army and the contributions that they've made, some of the Medal of Honor winners we've had, and from our very own soldiers here at Fort Hood.
Folks still serving.
Sharing their experience in the military. So we want to really thank you for stopping by and sharing everything and dealing with my questions. And it probably wasn't what you were expecting.
I didn't know what I was expecting. So
people who come on the show, that's their general experience. They never know what they're walking into.
I had no expectations, but I was still disappointed.
Wow. That was brilliant. That was brilliant. We're going to have to turn that into a liner. I'm going to have to rewrite that into a liner.
I think so.
All right. Well, once again, thanks so much.
Well, thank you for having me.
And we understand that you will be leaving us soon.
I will. I'll be going back to one of my favorite places. I'll be going back to Korea.
Oh man, they got you hooked real good.
With me going back to Japan, we can wave at each other.
Yeah.
We can.
We can. All right. So we will come back with some final thoughts right after these important messages.
Masks on for safety. Masks on for safety. In the store, we walk in the door. Masks on for safety. Masks on for safety. Day or night, do what's right.
Look, bad jingles aren't going to stop the coronavirus, but wearing a mask or a face covering can help lower the chance of infection or spread. So do your part and mask up. Or we may just have to keep singing.
Masks on for safety. Masks on for safety. Be a mouth and noser, or else you're a poser.
Do what's right. Save a life. Wear a mask.
What does resiliency mean to you? For the folks at Fort Hood Resiliency Campus, resiliency is helping folks help themselves. The campus offers a wide range of programs, each aimed at assisting Fort Hood units and individuals in need of morale and team-building opportunities. Through programs like the Applied Fitness Center, Military Life Counselors, the Army Wellness Center, Nutrition Clinic, and the Warrior Quest Adventure Program, the Resiliency Campus headquarters is located on the 5th floor of the Shoemaker Center on Darnall Loop. To find out more about what the Fort Hood Resiliency Campus can offer you, look them up on Facebook or give them a call at 254-285-5693.
It's me, Super Mario. Woohoo! Hello to all my friends at the Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. You number one.
So how'd you like the fact that I magically teleported to the studio and now I'm magically back home sick again?
Well, we did record that last week when you were healthy and hearty and hale.
And the magic is gone now. Thanks for that, Dave.
I'm sorry, man.
Got a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. But, we miss you around here, that's for sure.
It's, the wife is trying to get out of the bedroom here. I'm going to open the door for her. There you go, hon. There you go.
You're not driving her crazy because you're sick? How is she handling your illness? Because I know when I'm sick, I'm a real pain in the butt.
I think she's come to the conclusion that if I'm sick, she's got to be sick too. You know what I mean?
So she gets like sympathy sickness.
No, I mean
Stockholm syndrome.
We live together, so it's not like she can protect herself from my sickness. My sickness de facto.
So she already had Stockholm syndrome, right?
Yeah, maybe.
So, as we record this episode, the first presidential debate is actually going to happen today.
I know. I was so upset about that.
Why?
Because this is like a holiday for me.
Uh-huh.
I live for the debates.
Yeah, you are a bit of a political animal.
And I was opining this morning that today, instead of being sick, I should be, ordering pizza this evening and having some soiree.
Oh, yeah, it's a watch party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, that's not
happening
now. No.
Yeah, but it is important to remind our listeners, dear listeners, that no matter who you vote for, it is important to what?
Vote.
Yes, let your voice be heard.
Someone.
And the registration period is winding down, right? In most states?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yep, that is where we are. What about the rest of your life there at home, Charles? Tell me all about it.
The rest of my life at home, it's been laying down, getting up, laying down, getting up. It's so fun.
I bet.
It's so fun. I'll tell you, I never thought nights could seem this long before. Nights just go on forever. And it's to the point where like 2 a.m, I wake up at 2 a.m, and it's not a groggy awake. It's a immediate, boom, I'm awake.
Really?
And and I think I can't stay in this bed anymore. And so now I'm like an old man wandering around the house, just wandering with nothing to do. And then I'm like, okay, I'm tired. I'm going to go back to bed.
Well, then you might as well use the bathroom while you're up, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that gets done. That gets done.
Yeah.
The bathroom gets involved at some point. But, it's miserable. I remember the fun days of being a kid thinking, oh, I'm going to get sick and be at home and watch TV. And,
Yeah.
No, man, I think you get older and being sick is less cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like things get less cool when you're older.
Well, you had the quarantine special on a couple of occasions when they sent you home.
Yeah.
How did you keep busy, Brianna, during the long days of just sitting home?
The internet.
The internet.
Yeah, it solves everything.
The internet solves everything.
Reading books.
Charlie, you been surfing a lot? Or just trying to sleep?
I spend a lot of time in bed. Even my phone, every time it buzzes at me, it's just annoying. But
sorry about that. Several of those were me.
No, but I wish I could be lounging around more. I'm also up against it, I'll tell you.
What do you mean?
The wife. So, we all have, as we're raised and we're sick when we're kids, that's sort of like the template
right
of how we handle that as an adult.
Sure.
So when I was a kid and I was ill, I would be on the couch with a bunch of pillows and blankets, and I'd be watching TV, and I'd have usually a soda next to me that was a clear soda.
And your whoopee?
No, I didn't have a whoopee, but I could have little pudding pops when because I was sick. I need some pudding pop, and until I got over it. But my wife's experience, and she is who is treating me when I'm at home growing up, was you will stay in bed until you're better.
Oh.
So
yeah,
it's
that's
like
rough.
Laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, going.
This too shall pass, right?
She's not exactly Nurse Ratched, but
And that's non-negotiable, I take it.
Well, I'm trying to negotiate. I'm a slippery fella. I'm working on it.
All right, Charlie. Hey, any parting thoughts to our listening audience?
Stay new to your pets. Get your flu shots.
Got mine already. How about you?
I have not gotten it yet.
That's right. Cardamcy is usually they're in October.
Yes. Yeah. But there's always a big announcement.
Off post, everybody's got it.
Yeah. But they did say that the shipments were delayed, I remember.
Yeah. No, they're in pretty much every pharmacy off the installation now.
We haven't gotten the Hayud yet, but I'm sure we will.
Yeah, get your flu shots. Don't end up like Charlie, right?
Let me be a warning to you all.
Well, I hope you're here in the studio next week and all this passes. And with that, Charlie, hang in there, bud. We'll talk to you next week, okay?
All right.
And Brianna, take us home.
Well, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Tar starts thinning and cracks crumble the gravel lines. Just on the travel, though I know